Sa punto po ito ay makakausap natin si Professor Richard Heydarian, ang GMA News Resident Political Analyst. Magandang tanghali po sa inyo, Prof.
Magandang tanghali, Tony.
Okay, ito pong pagbisita ni Prime Minister Mahathir sa ating bansa. Ano ba ang nakikita nating kahalagahan nito?
Well, medyo, of course, pwede mo sabihin na long overdue yan, no? Kasi kapitbahay natin ng Malaysia, si Pangulong Duterte, actually dumalaw siya dyan sa Malaysia last year, although of course on the sidelines of a boxing match ni Pacquiao. At si Prime Minister Mahathir has been all around the world, no? Nag-New York, nag-London, among other things. So it's good to finally have him dito back in the Philippines, no? Andito siya 2 years ago for a forum. Ngayon, of course, yung Mahathir ay isang, 93-year-old Prime Minister. At yung kanyang mga posisyon sa mga issues ay siguro medyo iba kay Pangulong Duterte. No? Sa alam natin, bumalik si Prime Minister Mahathir sa power because nag-oppose siya dun sa tightening relationship ng Malaysia with China, no? Sa panahon ni Prime Minister Najib Razak at yung mga corruption issues ng panahon na yan. So actually very similar yung pagbalik ni Mahathir sa power dun sa pag-rise sa power ni President Aquino. So yung Aquino Arroyo ay medyo similar yung dynamics na nangyari dito sa Mahathir versus Razak. At alam natin si Prime Minister Mahathir very openly, very vocally sinasabi niya na pagdating sa China, okay sila sa investment ng China, pero dapat dito, ito ay magbe-benefit sa taong bayan dito sa Pilipinas to provide jobs for the locals. At of course, dapat hindi malubog sa utang ang Malaysia, no? Yung debt trap, no? So very strong si Prime Minister Mahathir pushing back against Chinese investment at sabihin na dapat we are wise about this. So siguro lesson ito para sa atin, no? At ating administration, lalong-lalo na si President Duterte and sa office supporters na very atat na mag-welcome tayo ng big investments from China, and especially amid yung concerns na purong mga nag-influx dito ng hundreds of thousands of Chinese, no? Illegal workers among other things, at yung mga proyekto ng China dito mukhang mas gumagamit sila ng Chinese content minsan, no? Kaysa Filipino, or dapat yung partnership ay more balanced. So I think si Prime Minister Mahathir has a lot to share to the Philippines kasi wag natin kalimutan ay Malaysia is not Sri Lanka, hindi siya small country. At ang Malaysia's economy is actually bigger than the Philippines, yung GDP nila. So if Malaysia is going to be worried about Chinese investments and making sure na ito ay equitable at mag-benefit sa locals, siguro naman may mga reasonable lessons na pwede natin makuha dito sa Pilipinas. I would also want to add na Mahathir, 93-year-old, and he attends lahat ng mga meetings, ng nasa ASEAN meetings, nag-attend siya. He's very professional. Hindi po siya nagpa-power nap, hindi po siya naghanap ng excuse. So despite his age, he does his best para yung kanyang bansa, no, to keep proud and to make sure na gagawin niya lahat ng kailangan. And in fact, he meets with all kinds of leaders, hindi lang Eastern, but the Australian leaders, but the American leaders, but the European leaders. So siguro lesson din to kay Pangulong Duterte kasi minsan mukhang si Pangulong Duterte medyo iffy siya makipag-meeting sa Western leaders. At minsan biglang hindi lumilitaw si Pangulong Duterte sa mga meetings, no? Yung mga ganitong problema. So siguro si Prime Minister Mahathir can give some tips to Pangulong Duterte as his senior, no? On what he should do for his country in the best way possible. At dapat mag-engage siya sa lahat ng ibang leaders, hindi selectively lang sa mga bansa na komportable siya. Kasi wag natin kalimutan, Mahathir had a lot of fights, especially with Australian government and in the West in the past dahil sa issue ng terorismo, dahil sa issue ng mga Islamophobia, dahil sa issue ng yung kanyang human rights and democratic record, kasi si Prime Minister Mahathir used to be known as much more of an authoritarian leader, no, nung sa dating panahon. And yet he engages, no? So I think there are lessons also that President Duterte can learn, both policy at saka personal, from Prime Minister Mahathir, who is like the last titan of Asia. Siya yung one of the last few big leaders from the 20th century na nandito pa rin in the thick of action. In fact, Prime Minister pa rin siya ngayon.
Okay, Professor, nabanggit niyo, balikan ko lang kasi sabi mo nga kanina na our President can learn a thing or two, no? Pagdating naman kay Prime Minister Mahathir, no? Pagdating sa personal, and even dito sa pamamalakad sa gobyerno. Isa yun dun sa mga nabanggit mo kanina, yung pagtutol nga ni Malaysian Prime Minister dito sa pag-utang sa China because they think it's a debt trap, di ba? Pero tayo, ang Pilipinas naman, talagang because of the perceived closeness ng Duterte administration sa China, talagang magtutuloy-tuloy. So, ang sinasabi ba natin dito, paano ba? Matatalakay kaya ito? O makikinig ba ang Pangulo kaya kapag nagbigay ng suhestyon?
Well, I mean, si Prime Minister Mahathir, no, nag-interview siya this morning at dun sa kanyang interview. Actually, I'm setting up an interview with him tomorrow, so tatanungin ko siya ulit sa kanya, no? The thing is, Prime Minister Mahathir, very diplomatic siya. Ang ganda nung kanilang rapport ni Pangulong Duterte, especially nag-visit si Pangulong Duterte. So actually, very respectful si Pangulong Mahathir kay Duterte, no? Hindi siya condescending, hindi na sinasabi na mas senior ako, junior ka, things like that. Wala naman kay Prime Minister Mahathir. Pero sana, behind the scenes, quietly, respectfully, i-remind ni Pangulong Mahathir na even a country as rich and developed as Malaysia, ay ngayon medyo nag-aalala sila doon sa mga utang nila sa China. In fact, yung kanilang finance minister nag-announce last year na may mga utang na hidden, na hindi na-reveal doon sa mga normal accounting ng government. So nakakatakot po yan. At saka, ang dami mga corruption cases dahil dun sa mga Chinese investments dyan sa China. And that, of course, also negatively affected yung democracy ng Malaysia, no? Kasi kung may corruption, then politicians can use money from other countries and corruption from mga major investment projects para manalo, no? And corrupt the political system. So si Pangulong Mahathir, kumbaga legacy moment yan eh. I mean, he's not going to be around for very, very long. So at least politically, no? So ang ginagawa niya ngayon is mas democratic leadership, yung transition ng Malaysia into a more free and democratic country na oversee niya. And of course, sinisigurado niya na yung investments galing sa ibang bansa ay talaga mag-benefit ng Malaysian locals, meaning population at saka Malaysian companies, no? In fact, nag-oppose si Pangulong Mahathir, no? Prime Minister Mahathir dun sa isang big Chinese real estate project, yung Forest City project, dahil puro mga Chinese lang doon. And of course, the other concern he has is yung mga Chinese investments ay nagpo-push up ng real estate prices. So ito, hindi maganda din sa mga middle class at saka ordinary Malaysians na increasingly hindi makapag-afford to buy real estate products or mga bahay dahil dun sa epekto sa economy nila. So I think and I hope, no, si Prime Minister Mahathir quietly and respectfully i-raise niya kay Pangulong Duterte, pero behind the scenes, not openly criticize Pangulong Duterte. And hindi naman ganun talaga si Mahathir. And in fact, I think Mahathir is the best guy to give advice to Pangulong Duterte. Kasi bago pa si Duterte, bago pa pumasok sa eksena si Pangulong Duterte, way before, si Prime Minister Mahathir was the one leading in criticism against the West and their hypocrisy and calling for independence. Kumbaga siyang OG, no? Siyang original, no? Siyang authentic talaga na leader na nagsimula ng itong independence movement for the East. So, if there's anyone na may credibilidad at may moral ascendancy at may clear track record of independent-mindedness sa buong Asia, no, na still alive, is definitely Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad.
All
and
right.
that makes him a very special person to give advice to Pangulong Duterte.
Okay, Professor, ito naman dahil nabanggit din po ni Presidential Spokesperson Salvador Panelo na posibleng mapag-usapan din po daw yung issue sa Sabah. Sa tingin niyo ba it will be appropriate to actually talk about that, knowing yung stance po dito ng Malaysia?
Well, ang position ng Malaysia is there's no dispute, no? So very hard line po yung position ng Malaysia.
Correct.
I don't think na na-raise ni Pangulong Duterte dun sa previous meeting nila. So dito siguro quietly ulit i-raise dapat ni Pangulong Duterte also on the sidelines. At huwag natin kalimutan, Malaysia played a very negative role in Mindanao in the past. They were funding yung mga rebels and insurgent groups rin, no, para ma-undermine ng Pilipinas. So may mga bad blood tayo unfortunately with Malaysia in the past. Pero sana moving forward, si Pangulong Duterte raise the Sabah issue. But for me, as important, if not more important, dapat i-encourage ng Malaysia to play a constructive role dun sa transition sa Bangsamoro. At sana ang Malaysia ay tutulong sa Pilipinas at tutulong sa Pilipinas in terms of funding development projects dyan sa Bangsamoro, but also preventing yung mga terrorists na Malaysian na pumasok sa Mindanao. In fact, marami sa mga top leaders ng ISIS dito sa Pilipinas, dito sa Mindanao, ay galing sa Malaysia, no? So sana tumulong din ang Malaysia in terms of counterterrorism cooperation para mag-benefit sila dito. So as much as you have to talk about Sabah at siguraduhin natin yung position natin dyan sa Sabah, dapat pag-usapan din natin yung positive and constructive role ng Malaysia sa Bangsamoro transition sa Mindanao at sa issue ng ISIS and counterterrorism.
Okay, maraming salamat, Professor, sa inyo pong binigay sa aming oras. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yan po naman si GMA Resident Political Analyst, Professor Richard Heydarian.